What's up, guys, and welcome back to the channel. And UFC Saint Louis wrapped up a couple of hours ago. I already made my full card breakdown and reaction, and now we're going to be talking about the next fights to make for every winner on the card. That's right, we had 12 winners of the card. We got 12 people there, and I'm going to be matchmaking for every single one of them, explaining why I think their next fight should be who I select, and also when it should happen, where it should happen, and all of that good stuff. So yeah, let's get into it. Derek Lewis got the KO win in round 3, and you know, his next battle might be against the courts. You know, he might be having to defend himself over public indecency charges, but if he overcomes that difficult test, he might, what I'm saying is you do him versus Rosenstrike. That's the fight to make. I called for this after Rosenstrike beat the Blob Gaziev. It's just been the fight to make for ages. You know, the winner does get the battle, the winner does get the bucket of KFC. It's the battle of the bucket. The battle for the bucket is what we're calling this one. And yeah, Derek Lewis versus Rosenstrike. It's just a good fight to make. Stop giving this guy anyone that knows how to wrestle in any capacity. Like, do not give this man someone that even, like, has heard of a double leg takedown. Rosenstrike ain't gonna wrestle. Give him strikers. Because look at his fights. Like, Almeida, this fight was kind of boring until the finish. But then, like, the Lima fight was good. But before that, Spivak, boring. Even the Pavlovich and the Thai fights and the Garn fight, like, even though he loses, it's still fun. But when this guy loses against grapplers, it's miserable. So yeah, give him a striker. Rosenstrike is the fight to make. They're, like, right next to each other in the rankings. Yeah, make this shit happen immediately. Let's move on, though, to the co-main event. Joaquin Buckley got a big win against Sultan Ribovich. We were pumped up in the live stream. If you guys tuned in, we were very excited to see him get the win, especially in that third round when he was beating the fuck out of Sultan. Really good win, and now, because he did beat Luque in his last fight, who was a ranked guy. Like, Buckley is ranked, you know, I think like 11 in the UFC rankings. And yeah, he gets to win here against Rizabov. Dangerous guy, good striker. And yeah, he should fight a top 10 opponent next. He should fight someone coming off a loss. We're going to just not talk about the Conor McGregor call out, because that was just not it in any capacity. But Gilbert Burns is the next fight to make, I believe, for Joaquin Buckley. Burns is coming off a tough loss to Della. He is on a loss streak because he lost to Bilal too, but he was arguably beating Della. He was up 2-0 on two of the scorecards. So yeah, he's not completely washed, but he is coming off a loss because I was in my chat on the live stream and I was saying, you know, he could have called out Ian Gary, and even though that wouldn't have been like, he probably wouldn't have got it, at least that's a good call out, and you can get people around you. Say, like, I'm gonna smoke this Irishman, and then I'm gonna beat another one. Like, I'm gonna smoke Ian Gary. He wants to fight on the Conor card. He wants to fight on his dad's card or something. I'll fight him. I'll whoop his ass, and then I'll fight Conor. Like, even though the Conor call out still would have been bad, at least then you can get some, like, support because no one likes Ian Gary. So if you call out Ian Gary, call him a cuck or something, then people are going to love you and they're just going to cheer for you. But the Conor call-out was not it. Burns, though, I've gone with, because I don't think Gary versus Buckley is the fight to make. They're both guys that you want to get to the top of the division. So yeah, you don't need to make them fight each other. But I think the fight to make is Burns, as I said. Burns coming off a couple losses. I think he's like number 6 in the UFC rankings, or number 5. I think he's number 6. Yeah, he's number 6 in the UFC rankings, and Buckley, I think, will probably be like number 11 or number 10 after this. So yeah, very close together in the rankings, reasonable. And you can main event. Buckley wants to main event a fight night. Go, maybe like a fight night in July or something. Maybe that's too soon. That's 2 months. He probably took a bit of damage, but you could do this as like a fight night in August, September, one of these kind of dates. July later on, late July, early August, September the latest maybe. I don't think Burns needs to take too much time off. He's already been out for 2 months after the Della fight. It was a pretty bad TKO loss. I'm not saying do this fight in June, but yeah, there's like a couple arena fight nights. Do this as like a fight night main event of an arena card, or like another co-main event of an arena card, or on the main card of a pay-per-view in July, in August, one of these kind of dates, and it's a sick fight, because I would probably lean towards Gilbert Burns winning, but I could see Buckley winning, and I could see Buckley just catching Burns and Burns being washed. Like, it might look like the Luque fight where we see the guy take a bad loss and then, you know, come back and not look the best, because I'd pick Burns, I would say, but I don't know, we picking Burns, is Burns going to, like, KO him on the feet? He might, like, Burns might sleep him on the feet, but I don't think Burns is going to grapple Buckley. Buckley's grappling looked really good here, so this will be an interesting fight, and yeah, I want to see it happen next, but let's move on to the next fight. Carlos Ulberg got a massive KO in about 11-12 seconds over Alonzo the Tard Menefield. It was a good win, good KO. He's a promotable guy. You can get behind him, and now this is when you give him a top 10 opponent. Now, I don't want to rush him too much. He's got time. He's not old in his career. And I think you should give him definitely a step up. I've gone with the loser of Johnny Walker versus Volkan Ozdemir, which I think's going to be Johnny Walker, because I'm assuming he's going to do I just burped. I assumed he's going to do something retarded and get chinned. So I'm making him the next fight for Olberg. Very, very winnable for Carlos Olberg. I was thinking like Anthony Smith, but I don't know, like that could be it, but I want a little bit higher up. Maybe you could do Khalil Roundtree if he loses to Jamal Hill. You could do Rakic, but even that, I think he would get smoked by Rakic right now. You could do Krylov, but I don't know. Give him a striker, give him a kind of easy fighter to KO, and give him a stage. Do this fight in like Perth or something on the Perth card, and give him a stage to get a big KO against Johnny Walker, because I don't trust Walker's chin. But let's move on to the next fight. That's a good fight to make. I'd look forward to that. And if Ozdemir loses, yeah, you can do that too. That's fine. Let's move on though. Carlos Diego Ferreira got a big win, tuned up Mateusz Rebecki and finished him late in the third round. Got dropped early, but he looked very good. And look, I was considering him a ranked opponent, and I would have done the RDA fight, but recently RDA said that he's moving up to welterweight. So, Carlos Diego Ferreira, I'm saying him versus Joel Alvarez is the fight I've gone with. I'm not attached to this. You could go any way with this, honestly. You could do I wouldn't even mind like a Paddy fight, but yeah, this guy, he's not a crazy big name, and he's not a guy that everyone's clamoring to see versus ranked opposition, even though he looks good. So if they gave him a ranked guy like a Bobby Green, I wouldn't mind, but I want to see Bobby Green fight someone else. But yeah, this would be a sick fight. I think him versus Joel Alvarez. Alvarez was booked to fight Rebecki, and then Alvarez pulled out. That's kind of what made this fight end up getting booked. But yeah, Alvarez, rangy, good striker, definitely exploitable holes in the grappling, so I think Ferreira could definitely win there. But yeah, this is a good fight. Good matchup. I wouldn't mind seeing this on the Sphere card, because what's his name? Alvarez is Spanish, Ferreira is Brazilian. You can put it on there. It's easy to promote, I guess. Do it as a prelim fight there, or on like the main card of like an Apex fight night, maybe headline prelims of an arena fight night, something like that would be cool. But let's move on to the next fight. Shawn the Alien Woodson got a close decision win against Alex Caceres. He looked okay, but he kind of didn't look the best. Now, the fight I'm going with here is not something that I believe Shawn Woodson deserves, but I'm going an interesting way with this. So I picked Kelvin Kattar as the next fight to make, and you guys might hate it, and fair enough. I don't love this pick, but my kind of thought process is Kattar is ranked number 9 in the UFC rankings, but he's coming off 3 losses officially. I think he beat Emmett, but regardless, apart from that, the Aljo loss and the Arnold Allen loss, apart from that, his last win was January 2022 against Giga Chikadze. So yeah, he hasn't won in a hot minute. And Shawn Woodson, despite not really deserving a top 10 guy, I think he does deserve a ranked opponent. He's got a really good string of names under his belt, like Jourdain, Caceres, Yusuf Zalal. He's beat some solid opposition. Now, I was thinking maybe like Dan Ige, but we all want to see Dan Ige versus Joe Anderson Brito. That is clearly the fight to make. So, even though I don't think he deserves as much of a jump up as some other guys in the rankings, it's more like Kattar needs a bounce back. Kattar needs to stop just fighting killers and really good grapplers and stuff at featherweight, and give him someone that he can beat. Give him a striker. These two are going to have a pure boxing striking match, and the last time he had a pure boxing striking match against someone who was not top 5 caliber, if I'm not mistaken, it was Giga Chikadze, that was when he just tuned him up. Because the Josh Emmett fight, was the Giga fight before the Josh Emmett fight? Yeah, it was, wasn't it? But regardless, the Josh Emmett fight, he lost officially, but I think he won. But yeah, Giga, long-rangey guy, kicks a lot, uses his range. That's the last guy that he got a win over. Make it happen. I think Woodson would lose. I would pick Kattar to win. I just don't think Woodson's that good. But yeah, this fight would just be really good boxing-wise, and it'd be fun, and it's a winnable fight for Kattar to get him back in there. So it's not like I'm going, I'm really high on Woodson, let's give him a jump up, and more like, let's give this unranked guy who deserves a ranked opponent, no one's really high on him as like a prospect, really, like a top tier prospect. But yeah, him versus Kattar would be a fun striking match, striking fight. Put it on maybe a main card of a fight night in an arena in a couple months' time. Cater probably needs some time off. He didn't take that much damage against Aljo, though, and then Woodson probably took a bit of damage too. So yeah, do this in like September maybe on a fight night. That'd be cool. Let's move on though to another fight. Waldo Salsa Boy Cortez Acosta produced one of the best performances of the year, thoroughly dominating the highly touted prospect and dangerous striker Ribovich to Spain. I'm kidding, he lay on him for 3 rounds. But he did get the win, so fair play. And he's now a couple wins in a go. You know, he's beat the legend and former champion Andrei Arlovski, and then he's beaten the best prospect the heavyweight division's ever seen. I'm joking again. But I say him versus Tai Tuivasa is the next fight to make. Do this in Perth in Australia, and this is the end-all, be-all. This is like the end of the road for Tai. If you lose to Waldo Cortez Acosta, who got tuned up by Marcos Agerio de Lima and struggled with Andrei Arlovski, it's over for you. Just quit the sport. Respectfully, I love Tai, and this is why I'm giving him this fight, because I heard some people saying if Ribovich wins, give him Tai, and I'm like, I don't want to see Tai get murked. But in hindsight, maybe Tai would have won that. I don't know. But Ribovich, he got smoked, so Waldo probably doesn't deserve a ranked opponent, but again, it's a similar situation where Ty's coming off a bunch of losses. Give him someone outside the rankings. Don't give him someone that can grapple. Even though Waldo grappled to Spain, that does not mean he can grapple. Let that be clear. He's still shit at grappling. He's still awful at fighting. Ribovich is just worse. But yeah, Ty, I think, would beat this guy up. I think Waldo's susceptible to leg kicks. He would get his legs chewed up. He's not that good. He doesn't have power on the feet. So yeah, give Ty a bounce back win, and if somehow he loses to Waldo, just retire and let's just get off this fantasy land that Ty can maybe get another win. Because if you lose to Waldo, it's over for you. But yeah, make this fight happen on the Perth card, and Ty will get a massive pop, and also fans just still want to see, the objective of this fight was to see Waldo get slept for taunting Arlovski. That's what we wanted. But the punishment, the penance can be delayed. We can wait, and we can make it both a happy moment for Ty getting a win, and then a happy moment to see Waldo get chinned, and we can have a 2-in-1 package. So make this fight happen at the Perth card. Yeah, do this. Let's move on though. Chase Hooper, aka me, if you watch the stream, if you know, you know, got the win against Vyacheslav Borshev, dominated him, 10-7'd him arguably in the first, and then won in the second easily. This guy is looking sick, and he's actually looking like a problem at lightweight. He's no longer just a meme fighter that we're making fun of and saying, nah, this guy sucks, he's awful. He's now got power in his hands for some reason, and he's dominant and throws ground and pound, and is imposing his will on the ground and beats people up. So no jiu-jitsu nerd Hooper anymore. We got man Chad Hooper. The chest hair's just waiting to grow out, but apart from that, this guy is just pure Chad stuff. But him versus McKinney, I've gone with. McKinney lost on the card to Ribovich, I'll talk about in a moment. But yeah, McKinney lost. He's looking worse and worse every time he fights, arguably. And then, again, this is still somewhat of a dangerous matchup for Hooper. He might get caught on the feet, but I would pick him to win. McKinney just doesn't look that good at this point anymore. But yeah, this is a good fight to make. Do it on a fight night card, main card of an arena fight night. McKinney's still got a name. People still know who he is. And he still brings excitement to fights. So yeah, if Hooper wins this, you're looking at maybe one more fight and then a ranked opponent, probably, I would say. But yeah, great win for Chase Hooper. Good job. Let's move on though. Esteban Ribovich got the win against McChinney himself. KO'd him with a head kick in the first round, in the first minute, brutally. Somehow, man, didn't get a bonus, but there's a perfect matchup to go with him. It's a guy that he's been booked against before, and I've gone with Elvis Brenner as the opponent for one Esteban Ribovich. They were booked to fight on the South Barlow card last year. Ribovich pulled out. This will be a really interesting fight. Ribovich's grappling is not tremendous. Brenner could wrestle him, but I just burped again. On the feet, though, this would be really fun to watch, and I would be interested in who was going to win this fight. I probably wouldn't know who to pick. But yeah, really good matchup. I want to see this. Both of them I'm pretty high on as prospects. A little bit less so Brenner. Actually, I don't know. Not even, because they both had performances where they looked a bit mid. What's his name? Ribovich against Rajdabov, and then Brenner against Oralby. They both didn't look the best. But I think they're both still guys that are young enough in their career, both under 30, that can definitely come back and have the tools to put it together and be problems. But yeah, this is a perfect matchup. Rebook it. It's a great fight. Let's move on though. Next up, Tabitha Ricci got the win against Tisha Torres, Tisha Pennington. arguable, close decision, but pretty much all Tabitha Ricci fights are. Yeah, this is the fight. It's Mackenzie Dern. You guys, you know what I'm up to. Of course, highly touted prospect matchup and the high level skills on display would be must watch. No, let's be honest. We're trying to watch the cake jiggle. And that's the perfect fight to happen. Both of these two, it's the argument. It is the debate of all time. Forget the GOAT debate. Forget any of this shit. Forget the pound for pound debate. We're talking about the jiggle physics debate, and it's between Dern and Ricci. It's the perfect fight to make. And if the UFC makes this fight, they are officially watching this channel, or they're just a bunch of horny bastards. But let's move on to another matchup. Trey Waters got the win. Close win over Billy Goff by decision. Arguable robbery again. But I said Jeremiah Wells is the next fight. Wells had a fight fall out recently. He got injured or something, pulled out against, I think it was Nico Price or something, I believe. And yeah, doesn't have a fight booked right now. He's a big power puncher. He does wrestle a lot too, so he might take down Waters. But on the feet, this will just be a kind of power puncher versus long rangey guy type of setup. I don't think Wells is that good. I don't know, it's just a fight that I looked through the rankings and I was trying to pick someone coming off a loss that was ahead of him. And I was like, yeah, I'll do this. I was thinking of like Philip Rowe if he loses to, Matthews. But I was like, no, I'll go with this. So yeah, make this fight happen sometime. August, September-ish. That's because Waters did take a bit of damage. So yeah, maybe September, October. That'd be a good fight. Let's move on. Charles Inner G Johnson, the hoodlum himself. I don't know why I said it like that. But the hood classic, Charles Johnson, absolute G shit from him. Gets the win over Jake Hadley. Yeah, that's his name. I don't know why I forgot if I was saying his name right. Yeah, it's Jake Hadley is who he beat by decision. And look, although this guy does not deserve a ranked opponent, the guy that I'm giving him as the next fight shouldn't be ranked. So Sumadaji is the fight I've gone with. This will be a fun striking match. You see a lot of, he loses to grapplers most of the time. And he actually defended a lot of Hadley's takedowns. But, his last fight, Rafael Estevan just took him down a whole bunch. Cody Durden took him down a whole bunch. This guy loses a lot to grapplers. But this will be a sick fight. Sumadaji's very chinny. Charles Johnson has some pop in his shot. So, yeah, this will be a very cool fight to make. Sumadaji pulled out of a fight with Josh Van. So, yeah, I don't think he should be ranked. But so that's, why I have no issue making this fight. But in terms of, because he is ranked, even though Charles Johnson, isn't really a guy that deserves a ranked opponent, this is one of those fights you can just do on, an Apex card or, an Arena Fight Night prelim opener or something like that. Pay-per-view prelim opener would be cool. But yeah, make it happen. It would be a really sick fight. And I don't know who would win. I'd probably pick Johnson, honestly, because Sumadaji's kind of washed. Let's move on to the last fighter. Last fighter on the card, Veronica Hardy got a decision against JJ Aldrich. I said Casey O'Neal's the next fight, it's again, you don't want to have two people that just look hideous in the cage. You want to have be something for there to look at, I guess. Casey O'Neal's kind of mid, but Hardy is solid. Decent, very solid look. Stan Hardy's done well for himself. But yeah, technically breakdown of this fight, it would be a good matchup. Casey O'Neal's a girl that's not ranked anymore, I don't think. Maybe she is still, but coming off a couple losses. Hardy, I don't think he's really good, but you could probably give her a lower end ranked fighter in the women's flyweight division. So yeah, make this fight happen. But yeah, that is the card done, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. Next fights to make, these are all of them. If I got any of them wrong in your opinion, leave your comments. Of course, your comments will be invalid and incorrect, because these are the next fights to make. But if you have any other, secondary ideas, just in case the best options can't work, then you can submit those in the comments now. Like the video, subscribe, all of that stuff. Tune in for my next fight companion, which will not be this weekend because the card sucks. But the next fight companion will be the June 8th fight night with Cannonier and Imavov. That'll probably be the next time I do a fight companion live stream. So yeah, tune into that. And other than that, stay tuned on the channel. Notifications, comment, like, subscribe, follow my Instagram. And yeah, peace out. Good job, Buckley. Good job, Lewis. And fucking Chase Hooper. Rebellis to Spain, you fucking spastic. Fuck you. Let's move on. Bye.